We are catching up for those that missed the shir this afternoon. We are catching up the shir from Chav Ches Elul, from Shabbos Kodesh, the 28th day of the month of Elul. We are on our way to Rosh Hashanah, to the beginning of Taf Shin Pei Vav. But before we get there, we have Daf Amud Beis of Maseches Pesachim, where the Gemara opens up, continuing with the discussion that we had from the brises that we learned on yesterday's Amud. Says the Gemara, the top, very top of the page. Amar Abaya says, Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov v'Rabbi Akiva Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri kulhu svir lehu chametz v'Pesach hasbana. All three of these Tanaim, Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, all of them agree that chametz on Pesach is in fact asur behana. This is against, of course, the opinion of Rabbi Yoshia clearly, who holds that chametz on Pesach is mutar behana. Uvaha pligi. And what exactly do they disagree about? The prices that we learned yesterday, what is the nekudas hamachlokes? Rabbi Akiva is of the opinion lefi damim mishalem, that whenever a Jew is going to need to pay back for something, he's going to pay back in accordance with the amount of money that he ate. That is called lefi damim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri is of the opinion lefi mida mishalem, that he pays back the quantity of what he ate, the measurement. If you ate a kazais, you pay back a kazais, regardless of whether the price of that kazais has gone up or down in the market. Says the Gemara, Pshita. That is, of course, what the machlokes is. Why else would Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri say that he is chayiv to pay in a case where there is no monetary value? Meaning, a Jew that ate truma on Pesach, trumas chametz on Pesach, there's no value to it. It could only be because he's mishalom lefi mida. Ma'adatema, what might you have thought? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri nami Rabbi Akiva svira. What would you have said? That Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri also holds like Rabbi Akiva, the amr lefi damim mishalom, that he does in fact pay according to the value, the monetary value. V'hasam, but the reason there, the hainu taima, the reason that he's going to be mechayiv, that he's going to say that you have to pay back in such a situation, mishum the sovel like Rabbi Yosef Glili, because he in fact holds like Rabbi Yosef Glili, the amr chametz v'pesach mutabana, that he holds that chametz on Pesach is mutabana, and you're going to pay back lefi damim, just like Rabbi Akiva said, and chametz on Pesach, according to Rabbi Yosef Glili, does have value. Kamash malan, that is not the case. That is the chidush of Abai, that it is not the case. That is what Abai is teaching us. Ve'im hachinami. But maybe you could say that maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe we could say that Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri did in fact hold like the opinion of Rabbi Yosef Glili. It says the Gemara Imkain, if that would be so, the hadar like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, then Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri would be able to respond to Rabbi Akiva, ki hechid mahadar lei Rabbi Lezer chisma Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov. Then Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri would be able to say back to Rabbi that. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri would be able to say back to Rabbi Akiva the same response that Rabbi Lezer Chisma said to Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov, that it's mutter to get hana from it. But he doesn't say it's mutter to get hana from it, which tells you, meaning he doesn't finish the argument at all on yesterday's Amud, which tells you that he doesn't hold Rabbi Yosef clearly. Says the Gemara, okay, Tanaraban, we have an embracer. That somebody that ate a kazayis of truma is going to have to pay back the keren, the value, the principal amount for chomish, and the additional fifth. Abba Shaul is of the opinion that you pay back once it is a shave pruta, but less than a shave pruta you wouldn't have to pay back. That's the implication. My timer, the Tanakama. What is the rationale of the Tanakama? This is Mefurish. Pasuk ish ki yochel kodesh bishkaga. The pasuk says that a person eats kodesh bishkaga. That's when he's going to be chayiv the keren al chamish. If he ate something that's kodesh unintentionally, says the Gemara v'achila. Since the pasuk says achila, achila means bekazais, an olive's worth. V'Abba Shaul, my time according to Abba Shaul, he says shabbat pruta. So Amakra the pasuk says v'nasan, that you have to give it. So ve'ein nesina pachas shabbat pruta, you have to give the value of it. There's no such thing as value less than a shabbat pruta. That is the minimum requirement to be considered to be an item of value in Kala Torah Kula. You want to get married, you have to have a ring that's at least a shabbat pruta. You want to be poida, your machasheni, it has to be on a coin, that's at least a shabbat pruta. You can't be, shabbat pruta is the minimum value. V'idach, and according to Abba Shaul, hakitiv yochel, the pasuk also says eat, v'ish ki yochel kodesh, says the Gemara, how prat lemasik huda asa. Now that is coming to tell you, prat lemasik, that is to exclude somebody that does damage to it without eating. In such a case, Rashi says, you would be chayav to pay the keren, but not to pay the chaimish. Meaning, you'd be like a stam mazik, like somebody that damages somebody that burned property. So you have to pay back the principal amount. That would be the same thing with regards to the kodesh. If he destroyed it, but not through eating, then he would not pay the chaimish. The Tanakama, according to the Tanakama, that says that it's about a kazayas, not a Shabbat Pruta. Actually, V'nasam. Pasuk also says V'nasam, that you have to give it. So doesn't that also imply Shabbat Pruta? Says the word, no, that is to come and tell me that you are not chayiv to pay back unless it is a davar haroy lios kodesh, unless it could have been something that could have been used in a situation of kodesh, which means, that's the parenthesis, yeah? Prat la'oichel chametz, trumas chametz Pesach. It excludes somebody that is eating trumas chametz and Pesach. I mean, truma that became chametz and Pesach has no inherent value because it could never have become kodesh. Says the Gemara, the Tanakama is learning that from the pasuk v'nasam. Okay, says the Gemara. Next sugya. Tana Rabbanan, the Brisa says as follows: Ha'oichel truma pachas mikazayis. Somebody ate truma less than a kazayis worth. Mishalmas hakerni has to pay back the principal amount. Ve'ein mishalmas chamesh, and he doesn't have to pay back the additional fifth because he ate less than a kazayis. Says the Gemara, Hechidami. What exactly is the case here? Eat the lace v'shavu pruta. If it is less than the value of v'shavu pruta, kernami l'shal, then he doesn't have to pay back the principal amount either. If it does have a shavu pruta, then you should pay back the chamish. Meaning, either way you slice it, either you shouldn't have to pay back anything, or you should pay back both keren and chamish. Says the Gemara, no. It does have a shavu pruta. It's worth more than the minimum amount. Even in such a case, since it doesn't have the requisite amount, the requisite volume, it's a very expensive tiny shmek of something, of truma, whatever it might be, that tiny amount, you would have to pay back the keren. We wouldn't pay back the chaimish. That's the din that we're talking about. It says the Gemara, Amru Rabbanan come to the Rapapa. The Rabbanan said this in front of the Rapapa. Ha deloi kabashal. They said that this price is not like the opinion of Abashal. The Ika Abashal, because if this was according to the opinion of Abashal, Ha Amar, didn't Abashal tell us, Kevin Sheyesh Ba Shavu Pruta, once it has a Shavu Pruta, Afal Gavdalis Bekazayis, even though it doesn't have a Kazayis, as long as it has a Shavu Pruta, you pay the keren and the chaimish. So Amalahu, so Papa says back to them, Amalahu Papa, Afilu Tema Abashal, you can even say that this works in accordance with the opinion of Abashal. You don't have to say that this is against Abashal. Why? Abashal Tarati Bayir. Abashal requires both, meaning what Abashal needs is that it's both a Shavu Pruta and that it's a Kazayis. Umi by Abashal Tarti? Really? Since when does Abashal need both? Tanan, didn't we learn in the Mishnah? Abashal says, that which has a Shavu Pruta, you are obligated in Tashlum. If it doesn't have a Shavu Pruta, then you don't have to pay back the Tashlum. You don't have to pay back at all if it doesn't have a Shavu Pruta. And if it does, then it doesn't require Kazayis. So Amrulai, so the Rabbanan said back to him, Loi Amru Shavu Pruta, they only required a Shavu Pruta only with regards to violating Me'ilah. Meaning that's where Abashal requires both a Pruta and a Kazayis. Aval Truma, when it came to Truma, you're not liable Kazayis until there is a Kazayis. V'im Isa, and if it's true, meaning that Abashal requires both, then it should have said since he needs the amount of an olive, meaning since it should have said that he needs a kazayit's worth. Meaning, the Rabbanan that disagree with Abashal should have said that that it has a kazayis, and that if it has a kazayis, then he is chayv even if there's no pruta, and he should have said that since it's a only if it's a kazayis and it's a shavu pruta. Says the Gemara Tiyufta. This is like a good refutation, meaning it cannot be that Abashal holds to both. Therefore, this brisa is not in accordance with the opinion of Abashal. And the truth is that even Rav Papa himself retracted from his original interpretation of Abashal, saying that Abashal requires both. This is the Tanya, because we have a brisa as follows. The pasuk says if you sinned unintentionally, That means that Chata b'shkaga, Rashi here says, Chata b'shkaga v'me'ila de hektish ksiv. We are talking about somebody that took from hektish. You stole from hektish. So that's me'ila. Prat lemesit. This excludes somebody that did so intentionally. So Chata b'shkaga, you have to bring you have to pay back, and you also have to bring the korban asham. Prat lemesit, and this excludes somebody that intentionally stole from the Beis Hamikdash. V'aloi dinhu, and is not a kavachaymer, this is not logical. Uma shar mitzvah shechay behem kares, with other mitzvahs that a person would be chayv kares. Poita behem is amazing. If you violated an isu kares b'mezid, then you don't have to bring a korban. You get the chiv kares, but you don't have to bring a korban. Me'ila, with regards to me'ila she'ein ba kares, there's never an isu me'ila by kares. You have to pay back, but there's no me'ila. Ein adin shepater is amazing. Would it not make sense that you'd be pater if you did it b'mezid? Well, you do have to bring a korban. Meaning, ein adin shepater is amazing that if somebody did it b'mezid, then you should not. Then you should be pater from the korban, because you're pater from the korban even in an isu kares. Says the Gemara, not true. Because you could argue that with regards to other mitzvahs, there is no punishment of misa. Sometimes, says the Brisa, with regards to chiyuvim, that there is no chiyuv misa. Me'ila has a chumrah shechiyuv ba misa, that there is misa v'dei shamayim if a person violated a b'mezid. Talmud Loimar, the pasuk says bishkaga. That's what the Torah tells you, bishkaga. That's where you would have to bring a korban prat lemezid, because the mezid is now chayiv misa b'dinei b'beis shamala. V'amal Rav Nachman, and then v'amal Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Rav Chia bar Avin. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says to Rav Chia bar Avin, Hi Tana, this first Tana, me ikara alima le kares. At the beginning, at the outset, he tells you that kares is the most chomer thing. Meaning, in a kal v'chomer, you have to have a kal and a chomer. So at the beginning of the argument, kares is the chomer. Ulabasayif, and at the end, alima le misa, then misa v'dei shamayim is the stronger of the two. So you see that there's that in each one that there's both a chomer. Says va'amarle, and he says to him, this is what it means. Loi, no. Im amar bishar mitzvahs. If you want to say in the rest of the mitzvahs, shekin loi chiyav bahem misa. B'pachas mikazais. We're not going to obligate misa in less than a kazais. With regards to Me'ila, shechiyav ba misa, that there is in fact a chiyav misa, that you would have a death penalty b'dei shamayim. B'pachas mikazais, with less than a kazais. Va'omer lei, and Rav Nachman Yitzchak then said to him, Tonoch da'cha, you should relax. She'inachta is dati, because you put my mind at rest. Va'omer lei, and Rav Chia bar Avin said back to Rav Nachman Yitzchak, Ma'ini chusa, how exactly does this help you? The Rav of Rav Sheshes, because both Rav and Rav Sheshes told the Bein Narga, they threw an axe in it, meaning they said that this svara is incorrect. What's the svara? Man Shabbos Nedamar, who says such a thing? Says the Gemara, Hazid b'me'ila b'misa, that a person was violated me'ila, he violated me'ila intentionally, b'misa, that he should have a chiv misa. So this is the opinion of Rebbe. It's the opinion of Rebbe, the Tanya. The Rebbe teaches this in a brisa. We will continue with this brisa, explaining Rebbe's opinion in the Misa B'dei Shamayim for somebody that violated Me'ila B'mezid tomorrow. Good Vach, and everybody should have a beautiful week, a beautiful Maseches Shabbos.